With this entry in my series, we have finally reached the companion who many fans, including myself, consider the quintessential Doctor Who companion, Sarah Jane Smith. Witty, strong, independent, but also loyal and caring, Sarah Jane manages to be helpful to the Doctor in his adventures, while still serving as someone to ask questions for the audience. This is partly due to the fact that Sarah Jane is a journalist, and thus her job literally is asking questions. The best way to describe Sarah Jane is imagine Lois Lane from Superman if she wasn't a total incompetent who constantly needed to be saved. What made Sarah Jane such a delightful character was her relationship with the Doctor. Sarah Jane challenged the Doctor on multiple occasions, much like Barbara and Liz Shaw before her, but what made her different is that she was an open feminist, and by that I mean she actively preached feminism, which, while reflective of the time she came in, the 1970s, does not date the character in the way one might think. In addition, she was still respectful to men whom she felt deserved her respect, namely the Doctor, and she was still warm and kind-hearted, rather than the cold misandrist that the writers could have so easily turned her into. The Doctor also grew very close to her, going so far as to call her his best friend, something he would only describe one other companion as. While actress Elizabeth Sladen would later state she'd felt like she'd become a cardboard character towards the end of her tenure on the show, and that her dialogue was mostly either yes doctor or no doctor, by watching her interactions with the Doctor, the two seem to have a genuine friendship. Sarah Jane also has a unique position as she was the first classic companion to return in the revived series. However, she was not quite the same as she had been in the past, namely in her feelings towards the Doctor. And I'll set up a contrast for you so you can see for yourself. In the clip I'm about to show you from the classic series, the Doctor has been summoned back to his home planet and he can't take Sarah Jane with him. Pay very close attention to the way she leaves the TARDIS and confronts the fact that she'll probably never see the Doctor again.
And I'll give your love to Harry and the Brigadier. Oh, and I can tell Professor Watson that you're all right.
We've landed, Sarah.
What?
We've landed.
Where?
South Croydon. Hillview Road, to be exact.
That's my home. Well, I'll be off then. Yeah.
Thanks.
Don't forget me.
Oh, Sarah. Don't you forget me.
Bye, Doctor.
Bye.
You know, travel does broaden the mind.
Yes. Till we meet again, Sarah.
Now, the goodbye in that scene seems very much like two friends who have been through a lot together and now must part ways, and it was handled in a very subtle way. No tears, no fanfare, no melodrama, just saying farewell. Now compare that with the clip I'm about to show you. In this episode, Sarah Jane meets up with the Doctor again after years after her departure, and is shown to have never really moved on from her time with him. This alone is rather strange, as we had seen Sarah Jane several times after her departure from the Doctor, and she had seemed to have readjusted to normal life rather well. In addition, pay close attention to how she reacts to leaving the Doctor for a second time.
It's daft, but I haven't ever thanked you for that time. And like I said, I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Something to tell the grandkids?
I think it'd be someone else's grandkids now.
Right, yes. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to ask. You haven't... There hasn't been anyone, you know...
Well, there was this one guy. I travelled with him for a while, but he was a tough act to follow. Goodbye, Doctor.
Oh, it's not goodbye.
You say it, please. This time. Say it.
Goodbye. My Sarah Jane.
The goodbye in that scene seems much more like that of two ex-lovers parting ways again, not two best friends. Yeah, one of the tropes of the new series that I'm not terribly fond of is that almost all of the female companions, and at least one of the male companions, are written as being in love with the Doctor. It's not that I'm opposed to romance subplots, it's just that they kept doing it over and over again. Thankfully, they seem to be breaking away from this trope, and while this was a somewhat major setback for Sarah Jane's character, it was mercifully short-lived. After that episode, Sarah Jane appears several more times on Doctor Who, and she seems to have moved on from her love of the Doctor, and now focuses on getting her life back in order. In addition, Sarah Jane gets her own spin-off series, The Sarah Jane Adventures, which focuses on her life as a paranormal investigator. For the first time, we get a detailed look at what life after leaving the Doctor is like, and for Sarah Jane, it's just as exciting as being with him. It's also great to see a female character saving the world all on her own. Even if the Sarah Jane Adventures is meant for kids, it's still creative and very enjoyable for adults. Truly, out of all of the companions, be they male, female, human, non-human, Sarah Jane left the greatest mark on the series of them all, and few other companions could even come close.